Thank you for the head pats. I'm gonna start with James Charles. This is gonna be a long one, which is why I'm starting with it because I want to get it out of the way because I have a lot to say. First of all, James Charles has always been a bad person. I don't know why people are now having a revelation, a second coming about James Charles when James Charles has always been a bad person. He has always been a bad person. Always. And if you're uninformed, which I'd be like, I guess you're chronically offline if you're like, who's James Charles? James Charles is an American YouTuber, TikToker, internet personality that has been around since what? A while. Been around since what? Let me look at his wiki. I've been around since what, 2019? No, before that. 2014. 2014, 2015. 2019 is when he started getting really, really popular. He's been around since then. He got extremely popular basically off of a tweet that he had made. This is why I say, like, when people are like, why do you tweet everything all the time? You never know. Why do you tweet everything all the time? You never know when your come up might be. You literally have to be shameless online because you never know when your come up might be. Post religiously. Post into the ether because you actually don't know who's looking at your content. Just post. Because back in 2016 or 2015, he made a tweet retaking his senior portrait with a ring light and makeup, and it went extremely viral in 2016, where he basically was like, you know, and this was before, like, you have to really think, like, 2016, this is before, like, this, I don't want to say before, but this is before, like, people were a little bit more woke. I think people are hella woke now. But it's like, oh, we just started seeing like men wear makeup. We were just kind of having those conversations, and like James Charles was somebody on online that was a man that was like wearing makeup and very secure in his masculinity, very hyper feminine, whatever, however you want to take that. Um, and he became, off of that tweet, he became the first male brand ambassador for CoverGirl. So that's how he got his come up. It was literally off of that tweet. He was posting YouTube videos before, but like they weren't doing well at all. And I need everybody to remember that. Like, it's the tweet that got him that cover girl thing. It's the tweet. It's the tweet that got him the cover girl deal. It's not his YouTube videos, because a lot of people will be like, he had a popular YouTube channel. No, he didn't, because he was on there singing on his YouTube channel, and he had bad makeup tutorials, and nobody was watching that shit. People were watching after he became a cover girl, a brand ambassador. Absolutely. So let's not rewrite history, because I remember. I remember at that time. Let's not rewrite that. You're not gonna gaslight me. I was there. I was in the room. I was there. He became the brand ambassador for CoverGirl. You know, this blasted him into the ether, into like the Hollywood sphere, ether, popularity, whatever. By 2019, you know, he was super big. He ended up, he did makeup for like a lot of celebrities. I'm just catching you up on his history. He did makeup for a lot of celebrities, got them on his YouTube channel. He also became he released a palette with Morphe, who was like a massive brand back in like the 2010s. Definitely not now, but like I cannot exaggerate like how popular Morphe was in the makeup sphere. As somebody who bought the makeup palette, not the James Charles one, but I have a Morphe palette in my makeup stuff. It was extremely popular, extremely iconic, and his palette sold like crazy. It's a really basic palette. It's not anything special, to be honest. It just is like a makeup aside. It's not really anything special. It's a simple rainbow palette. But you know, you don't have to reinvent the wheel to make $1 billion in the makeup industry, especially back in the 2010s. There were like 600 nude palettes that people were releasing with the same ashy 6 shades. So you really didn't have to try hard in order to make something, you know, popular. But that palette sold like crazy and really cemented him as like a makeup guru, internet celebrity, whatever you want to say. Throughout all of this, he has had a lot of controversies. He has had a lot of controversies, starting from when he was on Twitter. I remember his earliest controversy being when he was taking a trip to Africa. And this was around the time that he was like, what, 18, maybe a little bit younger than that. I just think it was stupid either way, but I think it was dumb either way. He made a tweet saying that he was scared about getting Ebola. That was like his first controversy, and he's had like a string of controversies just with him saying stuff or getting in feuds with other people. This was like the first thing. This was like around the CoverGirl era, mind you. So like he's always been like this. He's literally always been like this. Like there are just like little controversies here and there throughout his entire, I guess, career. I'm not gonna go over every single one because we can literally be here all night, and I don't have time. I don't have time, and it actually just doesn't interest me that much. But I'll go over the big ones because they're important. So they're important to just understanding who James Charles is. So a major one is the Tati Westbrook feud, which if you're a messy bitch like me and you like drama, you know exactly what this is. This is this is Dramageddon, as it's now named, Dramageddon. This is Sistergate. This is like top 10 YouTube thing, that top 10 things that have happened on the YouTube platform in terms of drama. Top 10 things, top 10. Like there's nothing else that like comes to this. Top 10. In 2019, and it's crazy that this whole thing played out the way it did, and it's crazy that to watch this all in real time. Because if you weren't there, I'm sorry, like me recapping this to you isn't even gonna be as good as you seeing it in real time. Like, I'm so sorry if you have never heard of this before, because watching this stuff play out in real time and seeing where we ended up now is absolute insanity. It's literal insanity. It's like, it's crazy. It's literally crazy. It plays out literally like an episode of like Succession or something. Like you couldn't write this. You literally couldn't write the stuff that had happened. But anyway, so if you're like, who is Tati Westbrook? I'm not going to explain exactly who Tati Westbrook is in every single facet, but all you need to know is that Tati Westbrook at the time, 2019, and still now to this day, but like at the time, Tati Westbrook was an extremely trustworthy and extremely beloved makeup influencer who had collaborated with James Charles on multiple occasions and basically took him under her wing. She had her own palettes that went like massively viral, sold in like Sephora, Ulta, what have you. She was already rich and famous by 2019. So just know that for context. In 2019, Tati Westbrook got on YouTube. Got on YouTube. Oh man, I didn't even talk about his tour. Oh my god, his tour that happened. When did this happen? His tour. I'm so sorry. I just remember the James Charles sister tour and how much of a disaster that was. And he was scamming his fans. He's also a scammer, but that's an aside. We can get there. We can get there at a different day. In 2019, Tati released a video that is absolutely iconic called Bye Sister. It's a 40-minute video. It's the size of a movie. It's a 40-minute video accusing him of being disloyal to her, not being a very good friend. And as an aside, which is crazy in this video because she really did highlight like him not being a very good friend and also like betraying her over some fucking gummies that she was promoting. That's neither here nor there, but like just as an aside, it's crazy that she kind of slipped that in at the last second. She slipped this next part in at the last second. Additionally, she accused him of attempting to seduce a heterosexual man, knowing that he was heterosexual and basically trying to coerce him into a sexual relationship and or more, right? A lot of you, this like broke the internet. This like broke the internet. You know, Jeffree Star got involved. I hate Jeffree Star. I could talk about Jeffree Star for 300 days because I hate him that much. Like, so there's some people that I just hate with my whole entire being. You're spoiling it, Mac. I'm gonna get to it. You're spoiling. I'm getting to it. Let's take the time of the story. Let's let it marinate. With my whole entire being, and Jeffree Star is one of them, but also Jeffree Star is another YouTuber, internet personality, racist, homophobe, also MAGA at this point in time, individual, who sucks. And I don't have time to recap Jeffree Star at this point in time, but Jeffree Star, Zara Larson, who everyone knows Zara Larson today, but it's like, why is Zara Larson a part of this in 2019? Anyway, Zara Larson, a bunch of other YouTubers came out the woodwork and basically corroborated Tati's claims, saying that he was not a very good person, that they witnessed other things. James Charles then lost 1 million subscribers in 24 hours. He was the first YouTuber to ever do that. First YouTuber to ever have that happen. Then he uploaded, very soon after that video dropped, he uploaded an 8-minute apology, basically stating, that he was not a very good friend, and that he thoroughly apologized to Tati for everything that had happened. It became one of the most disliked videos on YouTube, and then immediately got it deleted. Became one of the most disliked videos on YouTube, on the entire platform, then got deleted. He then followed that up with a 40-minute video called No More Lies. All these titles, iconic. I love using them in memes every single time. Very iconic. But called No More Lies, where he addressed the claims again, because the first video he was crying. He was he was doing the little YouTuber apology, being like, I'm sorry, da-da-da. Nice presentable paper in hand. He's like, oh no, I'm here to address the issues, and I'm actually not going to be apologizing for anything. So he refuted the comments that he was trying to seduce anybody, the allegations that he was trying to seduce anybody. Mind you, this would later turn out to be confirmed as true, but we're not there yet. We're not there yet. All of the claims made against him were true, but we're not there yet. But I just want to put that in there. I'm spoiling it, but for the purpose of explaining the entire story, to just illustrate how James Charles has been able to get away with behavior for a very long time. He gets into controversy and consistently will get away with it. He gets away with it every single time. Every single time. He released this video, it refuted all the claims that he was a bad friend. He said that everybody was lying. He brought receipts to the table. I don't even remember what those receipts were, screenshots of something. And basically the internet took his side. In public opinion, the court of public opinion took his side. And they switched sides from Tati to James Charles. And it was nothing but James Charles love. After that, I don't really even remember, truthfully in my heart, I'm I don't really know if it was because people are misogynistic. Let's go back to James Charles. He made an apology and everybody forgave him. Literally everybody forgave him. And I really do feel like there was an edge of misogyny to this. I do feel like there was an edge of misogyny to this whole thing, where it's we're going to choose the man side. And people would be like, how is there misogyny when James Charles is a feminized queer man? Oh, there's always misogyny in the room. There's always misogyny in the room. At the end of the day, James Charles is a man and Tati Westbrook is a woman. Him being queer adds an facet to that, but I think it added a little bit more in this situation. And people fucking hated Tati after this. They fucking hated Tati. They sent her so much hate. She later deleted her video. She then in 2020 made a follow-up video in which she apologized to James Charles. In my personal opinion, she should have stayed 10 toes down. 10 toes down and be like, y'all are mad, but I know I'm right. Because again, looking at it from the future, it's crazy because she was literally right. She was right, but I think it was misogyny, and I also think it was the way in which she went about it, because she did make part of her video, as I was saying earlier, about these fucking stupid gummies and how she was sad about him being disloyal to her about brand deals and da-da-da-da. And it muddied the waters. It muddied the waters of what she was really trying to talk about, because that later part was correct. That later part was correct. That later part was right. We're talking about James Charles. He was apologetic to James Charles. She said that Shane Dawson, who we all know Shane Dawson, I did not fuck my cat, I did not go anywhere near my cat. Shane, Mr. Blackface Dawson, you know him. You know him. You may hate him as much as I do. Probably not, because I hate him more than you. But you know him. Shane Dawson, she claimed that Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star manipulated her into making that original video. Basically, they got under her skin. They fed her lies, is what she had claimed. They fed her all of these lies and coerced her into making that original video. Once again, I really believe that she should have stayed 10 toes down because she looks stupid now. But in my personal opinion, she looks dumb now because it's like, why are you apologizing to somebody when you knew that bad behavior was happening and you didn't want to stand on it for whatever reason because you were getting hate? Sometimes you gotta take your L because you are early. You're not wrong. I say this all the time about myself. I am not wrong. I'm just early to conversations and nobody's ready to hear me yet. This happens. I am not wrong. For a lot of things that happen, I'm like, I was just early. And she actually looks dumb because she literally apologized to this piece of shit. And then brought Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star into it. Like, for like no reason. Anyway, so Shane Dawson ended up making this like crash out video that Mac was talking about earlier. She looks dumb. She looks very dumb because like, why are you literally apologizing to this horrible person? This entire thing was a hot mess. This whole thing was a very hot mess. And once again, as I stated earlier, James Charles got away with it, but it planted the seed in a lot of people's mind. I will say, even though he skirted free out of that situation, it did plant the seed in a lot of people's minds that like, this guy might be a little bit of a freak. Like, he might actually be a freak. Follow up. In 2021, a 16-year-old boy, and I'm going to just be very straightforward about the next set of events. A 16-year-old boy posted a video on TikTok alleging that James Charles had groomed him and sent him nude photos and pressured him into sexting and engaging sexually, even though he knew he was 16 years old. And James Charles, by the way, is 26 years old as of right now. He is 26 years old at the time. I mean, this was 2021. He was like, what, 23 or something? Like, I don't know, math. Old. math, old. I'm not doing math off the top of my head, but old. Old. James responded to this video pretty quickly, and he denied all of it. He said that the teen was clout chasing, and that he had lied about his age, and that he's only doing this to ruin his career. A month later, other underage boys came forward on TikTok and other social media platforms claiming the exact same thing. That James Charles, has a reputation and a pattern of going after underage boys, knowing that they are underage, and sending them nudes of his body and pressuring them into sending them back and also engaging sexually with him. This pisses me off. This pisses me off because when this happened at the time, so many people were quick to say clout chasing about literal children, because a 16-year-old is a child, a 17-year-old is a child. In my personal opinion, I think an 18-year-old is a child. That's how I feel about it. But people were saying that these teen boys were clout chasing and that they just wanted to ruin a successful man's career, a successful queer man's career. This, mind you, is rape culture. This, mind you, is the patriarchy at work. Because, which I say this time and time again, the patriarchy doesn't just affect women. The patriarchy also affects men. The patriarchy is a helpful tool to literally no one. It is a helpful tool to literally no one because it's going to affect you at some point in time. Whether you know it or not, it's going to affect you at some point in time. Because let me sit here and ask, when has a victim of any sexual related crime who has come forward about it ever gained anything from coming forward about a crime happening to them? Truthfully gained anything? I'm waiting. I'll listen. But no. I say I'll listen, but I'm not actually listening. Because it's just not the case. You are setting yourself up to be absolutely exploded with vitriolic hate by announcing that you are a victim of a crime. I think about so many women that have come forward about, I mean, I think about the entire Me Too era, but I think about so many women that have come forward about horrible sexual assaults, harassments, experiences that they've had with their bosses, with their coworkers, with their friends, with family, and have gotten nothing but hate, death threats, awful things sent to them. And also accuse them of, what were you wearing at the time? What were you wearing at the time? Well, you might have incited it. I mean, with a body like that, who wouldn't, right? Again, rape culture, patriarchy at work. Now, let me ask you this. When has a man, if a woman can't come forward without receiving so much vitriolic hate about a sexual crime, when has a man ever come forward about a sexual crime and that's gone over well? Never. Never. I think about Terry Crews, who to this day, I have a lot of things to say about Terry Crews. I have a lot of things to say about Terry Crews, but we don't have to get into that right now. But like Terry Crews, who bravely came forward about his own experience with sexual harassment and assaults by a person that he worked with, and received nothing but hate, nothing but vitriolic hate to this day. Because people looked at him and said, well, you're a big guy. Why couldn't you have just fought them off? Right. Again, rape culture, awful statements, da da da. People were really on the timeline in those kids' comments saying that you're clout chasing. Once again, what do they have to gain from this situation? Truthfully and honestly, it's not like they're going to gain 10 million followers off of this situation. They're going to gain nothing but hate. Which, again, not again, because I didn't say this, but like, also you're weird if you're. This is like parasociality too, where it's like you find out. I'm trying to just understand this because I'm not a very parasocial person, or I'm not a parasocial person really, but like you find out that your favorite content creator, i.e., James Charles, was texting underage boys, and your first instinct is to go to the boy's page who has alleged these things and leave him a hate comment. Very interesting to me. When I say interesting, I don't mean interesting good. I mean interesting weird, interesting crazy, interesting you should go to therapy, interesting please delete your Twitter account, please delete your TikTok account. You've got to get offline. You've got to get offline. Get behind me, James Charles. That's your first instinct. Your first instinct is to go, let me go harass some children. Children, 16-year-olds, 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds. I mean, these kids, I feel so bad for these boys. I feel so, so bad for them. Interesting, you're gross. Like, that's how I feel about that. So all of these boys came out about this. It went very viral. And then in April, so this happened like month by month, right? So this happened in 2021. We're in the pandemic. Also, this is like pandemic era, so this is like terrible. Everything's terrible. James Charles, this is all terrible. Everything's bad. April of 2021. James Charles posts a video called Holding Myself Accountable. This is not a crying video. This is not a crying video. Let me just say that. This is a weird ass video. This is a very strange video where James Charles gets on Beyonce's internet in the white background. You know the one. The white background and a black t-shirt. And he says that his reason for texting underage boys, he's not apologizing really, but his reason for texting underage boys is because he's desperate. That's his way of getting out of this. He says, I'm desperate. I really want to be in a relationship, and this is why I was texting them. And also, everybody lied. He said, I'm desperate, and also said all of those boys lied. Every single one of those boys lied. All of them. They all lied. They said that they were all 18. They said they were all 18. I think also too, like, he claimed that, like, out of all the people that, like, alleged this about him, he only claimed 2 of them. Where he was like, I don't know who else is claiming things, but I've only sent messages to 2 underage boys. And I'm laughing because it's just like, what are you talking about? Like he's like, I didn't send him to like 16. I only sent him to like 2. Like, why is everybody so upset? That's not how he said it. He did the dramatic YouTuber shit. And he said he never denies, he never outright states too in this video that like his behavior is bad. He just says that it was desperate and unacceptable. um and he said, I'm sorry that I flirted with you, and I'm sorry if I ever made you uncomfortable. If I ever made you uncomfortable, which is the number one thing that I hate. It's the number one thing that I hate in all of these YouTuber apologies, these internet apologies. Every single time one of these fucking influencers, and I don't even mean James Charles, I mean like any micro celebrity, any of these fucking influencers release a fucking apology, I swear to you, I could be a PR manager the way I would make bank off of these people. You need a PR team. You need somebody in your corner like reading the statements before you release them. I could be that person for you, truthfully. Never put if. Never put if, because it implies basically that like you didn't do it. If it happened, I'm sorry. But only if it happened. If you were offended by my statements, sorry. Yes, that's what I was thinking about. I was like, I have to Google for a quick second. I was thinking about the narcissist prayer. That's what I was thinking about, which is, it's a very common, I guess, like, quote, where I'll read it for you, but it's like, that didn't happen. And if it did, it wasn't that bad. And if it was, that's not a big deal. And if it was, that's not my fault. And if it was, I didn't mean it. And if I did, you deserved it. That's what it reminds me of. It reminds me of the narcissist prayer, which is just a common phrase, quote, used to describe people that always shift blame. It's very common. If you Google the narcissist prayer, you'll find that. You'll find some form of this used all the time. When describing, obviously, narcissists, but this applies to so many other people. If. if. Always if, but never when. Always if, but never I did it. Listen. He said, if I made you uncomfortable, I'm sorry. And the response for this was mixed. I am just like recapping. The response for this, we're not even at modern day, mind you. We're getting there. We're still in the recap. The response for this was mixed. Obviously, I was like, this guy sucks. Obviously, at the time, I was like, this guy sucks. This guy's awful. This guy's a horrible person. Based off of other things that happened in the past, too. But that's neither here nor there. But a lot of people were like, well, he was desperate. A lot of people, some people really took that and ran with it. They were like, well, he was desperate. You can't hold people down to their desperate actions. He is a grown man texting 16-year-olds, actively going after 16-year-olds. There's so many 16-year-olds in his phone. He can't even keep track of which 16-year-olds he was trying to groom. There's so many of them. So many of them. Mind you, after this apology came out, he was later caught again. Like, after the apology had come out, it was like a few weeks later, literally it came out again that he was on Snapchat, like I've been saying my whole life. Snapchat is at the scene of the crime. It's always that platform. If you have a Snapchat, delete it. Delete it, because at some point it's going to ruin you. Delete it. I don't know. It's always at the scene of the crime. Every single time something comes out, it's like, oh, well, this happened over Snapchat. I'm like, likely story. Very likely story. He was caught again messaging minors. Again over Snapchat. Again. So anyway, Morphe released a statement. They cut business ties with him. YouTube demonetized his channel temporarily. He came back with another video. I don't even remember what the fuck he said in the video, because actually it doesn't really matter. Because once again, he kind of just got away with this. Because he had an interview in 2023 where he denied everything. It was an interview with Cosmopolitan. He had denied everything. He said everything was faked, AI. He didn't say that. He said it was faked. He didn't say it was AI, because this is like not around the AI time, but like he said it was fake. He said everything was doctored. And he said that his brother hasn't spoken to him since it was made, since all of this stuff had come out. Like he's like, my family's not talking to me. Da 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 da. Also, this is important, I guess, just as an aside, because like his brother made YouTube videos with him. He was kind of prominently shown in his channel, so he was just stating like, my brother hasn't spoken to me since this whole thing has like ruined my life, and it's all fake. It's all fake. One of the accusers did come out later. I will just say this for transparency. One of the accusers did come out and did say that I did lie, and I did tell him that I was 18 years old. Nobody else did though. I was just being very clear about that. One of the accusers came out and said that I did lie and I did tell him that I was 18. Nobody else did though. Nobody else did though. So even in James Charles's situation, right? Like in his personal own story that he has created for himself, you did still text minors, you know that, right? Like he admitted to it. He admitted to it. Like he fully admitted to it. He's like, I did at least text two minors. That's on video. He's like, I did do that. Two of them. I don't know about what you guys are talking about with everybody else, but I did do that to at least two minors. One of them came out later and said, I did lie. What about the other one? What about all the other ones on Snapchat? What about all the other ones that came out after in like 2021? I'm confused. I'm here, but I'm confused. I'm here, but I'm confused. But Mac, you're correct, because it only took one of the accusers who had lied for his entire fan base to come out the woodwork and say that all of them are liars and that James Charles actually did nothing wrong. Consistently, mind you, after this had happened, there has been allegations that like this behavior has just been going on behind the scenes. A bunch of other controversies have happened since this point. But like we don't need to get into it. It's just that he is an awful person, I wanted to just highlight those two major ones because I think that that's just really relevant to understanding who James Charles truthfully really is. He has always been awful. So I don't really understand why this new information, also mind you, after this he had a whole situation with his workers where like one of his workers quit because they claimed that he was literally like the worst boss of all time, like literally harassing this woman. I said the exact same thing about Shane Dawson because when I had my last like big rant about awful people, a lot of people were like, well, Shane Dawson was just so good at getting away with stuff. And it's like, no, Shane Dawson actually wasn't good about getting away with stuff. At the time when Shane Dawson was literally doing blackface, there were a lot of black content creators that had come out of the woodwork and said that he is awful. A lot of people had come out and said he is awful. It's just that nobody was trying to listen to that. The vast majority of people were okay with that behavior, and they were just they wanted their chicken nuggets. We're always back to our chicken nuggets. I like him. He's my favorite. He's my favorite content creator, and I'm not letting him go. And I'm not letting him go. No matter what you tell me about this guy, no matter what you tell me about this guy, I'm not letting him go. I'm not letting him go. I'm not letting him go until it gets worse. And it did. It just kept getting worse. His entire career has been filled with controversy. James Charles released a TikTok video, and we're gonna watch it because I need you guys to watch this video with me. I've already seen this video, but I'm gonna subject you to James Charles because me explaining this to you doesn't compare to you hearing the words out of his mouth. You need to hear it with me. You need to hear him so you can understand why I'm upset. You need to hear him. But I'll explain what the video is before we watch the video. But I have the video ready and we're gonna watch it. So, can we fall down the stairs? No, I didn't queue up that video. I'm sorry. I didn't queue that one up. I'm sorry. I didn't queue that one up. But maybe later. Maybe later. So, James Charles is in controversy again, not for texting minors. Which I think he should have gone to jail, but like, mind you, I think he should have gone to jail for that. He admitted it on camera that he definitely did do what he was accused of, and like he saw zero repercussions for that. But he's in controversy because a woman DM'd him basically asking for assistance with a GoFundMe or a donation because she recently lost her job because of Spirit Airlines. She was working for Spirit Airlines, and if you didn't know, Spirit Airlines recently just completely closed down. 17,000 people are out of work right now. It's gonna get crazy. It's gonna mean that cheap flights are basically not a thing anymore. All the flights are gonna be really, really expensive because there's one less airline out. There's one less airline like doing flights, so all of the other airlines are gonna raise their prices. So we're gonna see a massive skyrocket in prices for flights. Flying is gonna become a luxury very, very soon. Very, very soon. But 17,000 people are out of work. So that's the context. We already talked about Spirit Airlines as it was happening, so I'm not gonna review that. But DM'd him and he crashed out. So we're gonna watch that video. The video is like 2 minutes long. And I need everybody to watch this video with me. I'm gonna pause the music. I know my music be hitting, but we're gonna pause the music because I want you to hear him. If it's loud, let me know because I literally don't know what the volume is like. I put it in the corner. He's not super big because I don't want him to be super big on my channel. I hate him, so you're gonna have to look at the corner and listen for him, okay? It's 2 minutes, okay?
From a girl that said, "Good morning, James.
So,
I know you'll probably never see this, but I just got a DM on here from a girl that said, 'Good morning, James. I know you'll probably never see this, but if you could just take 1 minute to read it would really mean a lot to me. I'm really struggling right now because Spirit Airlines just filed for bankruptcy and I have lost my job. Here's the GoFundMe link. Any donations help.'" I'm sure they do, sweetheart. I'm sure they do. You know what else would help you? Getting another job. Yeah, try that. Because in the time that it took you to copy and paste the same fuck-ass message to myself, who you don't follow, by the way, and probably 100 other influencers and celebrities, you could have applied for 100 other jobs, but you didn't because you're a lazy piece of shit and you're entitled. And you think that influencers and celebrities should fund your life for you.
I have to pause. What the hell is he talking about? I have to pause because what is he talking about? He says this woman is entitled for DMing him, asking for help. Also, he's mad that this woman doesn't follow him. Nuts to butts, bro. I don't know. I don't know what you want. Sometimes you don't follow people that you actually like just because you don't want to follow them for whatever reason. Sometimes you engage in content from a content creator that you don't follow. I don't subscribe to every single content creator that I watch on YouTube because sometimes I don't want to see every single video that they post, to be completely honest. I'm not trying to see all of that. Sometimes I just want the occasional video if you have a topic that I'm very interested in. That does not mean that this person is not a supporter of you. That does not mean that they don't care about you. That does not mean that they don't like you. You're weird for fixating on that, first of all. Second of all, he's calling this woman lazy and entitled. Mind you, I didn't address this in the history of James Charles. James Charles has always been wealthy. People act like he had a come up. He did not. James Charles came from a upper middle class family. And when I say upper, I mean, you know what I'm talking about. Like a nice, like, you know, golf cart family. He was always wealthy. He was always going to be fine. He just got wealthier. He wasn't in the slums. He's never experienced a day in his life without a meal. He just got wealthier, and he also got one of the easiest jobs on the fucking planet. I am a content creator. I am not a famous content creator. I am not a super popular content creator, but I am in fact a content creator. Content creation is the easiest fucking job you can have. And yeah, sometimes it sucks, but it is not a hard job by any means. Anybody can do this fucking job. A lot of people can do this fucking job. Would they do it well? Would they do it in the way that you may do it? No. Obviously, everybody has their own special thing that brings other people to their content, right? But can anybody do this job? Yeah. Yeah, anybody can do this fucking job. I work a 9 to 5. I work a 9 to 5 now. I have worked many jobs in the past. I've worked a lot of jobs in the past. I've worked basically like 12 to 12. Swear to God, I'm working 12 hours in my fucking life. And then I come home and I sleep for an hour and I go back to work. This job, content creating, is not a hard job by any means, and it's not a hard job for somebody like James Charles, who basically has to make one TikTok video and gain, because I think the average, I mean, obviously he's probably gaining a lot more, so he'd probably have like, 30K, 50K for one TikTok branded video, and we're talking about like not even 5 minutes of content. He would probably make $50,000 off of that. On the lower end for some of these content creators, 11K, right? 11K. Life changing money for 5 minutes of just talking about a brand. Life changing money. Some people don't even make $50,000 a year. He can make that in 5 fucking minutes. James Charles calling this working woman entitled and lazy is absolutely fucking ridiculous. And nothing anybody will ever tell me will ever change my mind about that. He is absolutely fucking ridiculous for that. Nothing anybody can tell me is gonna change my fucking mind. Influencers literally have psychopathy. Not for nothing. And I am improperly using that term because I know he's not a psychopath, but this is crazy. He is literally insane in this moment. And I don't have any empathy for him for this situation, Mag. I don't see his perspective in any way, shape, or form, because you can just ignore the DM. That's the part of this that like I'm confused about. You have what? I'm assuming he has like what, 32 million on TikTok, and this person has 0 followers on TikTok. You're putting this woman on blast. Like, you don't have to answer the DM. You don't even have to look at the DM. Why are you so tilted over this DM? You know how many, not for nothing, but like, again, I'm not a popular streamer by any means. I'm not a famous streamer by any means. Sometimes if somebody DMs me, I just don't answer it. Like, sometimes if you DM me, like, I just don't answer it because I'm not trying to hear that. Like, if you try to loop me into something, like, I'm not trying to hear that. Oftentimes, I will respond, but, like, I don't know, if you come at me crazy, like, I'm not trying to answer that. I'm not trying to answer that message. Why would I answer that? I get a lot of messages through various social media that I am on where I just don't answer the message, and it's fine. It's perfectly fine. It's a reasonable thing just to not answer the message. He did not have to make this TikTok because I don't really understand. Well, I do understand because he thought everybody was going to be on his side for some strange reason. Which is weird to me. It's weird to me that he thought everybody was going to be on his side, but he just did not have to make this a video, and I'll let the video play out.
Why would I ever help you? You're not a fan. You don't even follow me. You've never supported me. This is your first time DMing. And you think that I'm going to send you money because you lost your job? Oh my God, welcome to the real world, sweetheart.
Him saying this really pissed me off. Welcome to the real world. Mind you, again, James Charles is in upper middle class. Started out upper middle class. Now at this point in the elite, millionaire status, can buy anything, has never known truthfully a hard day's labor in his life because he became a cover girl as soon as he graduated from high school, and his family was already wealthy before then, so he's never known a hard day's labor in his entire life. So I don't really understand why James Charles, out of all people, no, he has not, because he became the cover girl sponsor literally right after he graduated, so I don't really understand what he's talking about. When he says welcome to the real world, I don't really understand what the fuck he's talking about. I really just don't understand. Because when has James Charles ever been a part of the real world? Never. When has James Charles ever missed a meal? When has James Charles ever had to live paycheck to paycheck? When has James Charles ever had to work a job that they fucking hated, but worked it anyway because they had to put food on the table, because they had bills that they had to pay? When has James Charles ever had to think about any of that? Welcome to the real world, sweetie. When I catch you, James Charles, when I catch you, like, I can't even joke, truthfully and honestly, because I truly feel like this is one of the most disgusting videos I have ever watched in a really long time, and it's really hard for me to get through the rest of this video. Like, it's really hard for me to get through the rest of this video because I genuinely feel like this is really sick, and it's sick that a lot of influencers have this, because he's talking about how this woman is entitled, but it's entitled to think that people would have been on your side. It's entitled to not understand the perspective of somebody who is in such desperation, right? Like, think about that. You just lost your job. You may have applied to 100 jobs at this point, right? Just lost your job at Spirit Airlines. You thought you'd have it for a little bit longer because, I mean, airline jobs, you'll probably just have those. You assume, right? You'd probably just have those for the rest of your life. You are trying to look for work, and you're so desperate that you're messaging James Charles, and he can't see the desperation as like, wow, this is very indicative of like the time that we're in. Instead, he's like, I have to make a video about how sick and twisted this fucking woman is and how nasty it is that she sent me a DM asking for a donation, asking for a donation, which, mind you, he also could have given. He's not entitled to do that in any way, shape, or form, obviously. You know, like, rich people defenders love doing this shit where they're like, well, if someone works for their wealth, they don't have to give it away. Rich people defend, stand behind me, rich person. They love being like, well, if someone's worked for their wealth, they don't ever have to give it away. They don't ever have to give that away. And it's like, yeah, that's definitely true. Like, if you've worked for all of your money, you don't have to give it away. And also, you should have empathy for people in the world around you. That's just how I feel about it. Like, that's that old money talking. That's just how I feel about it personally. Like, I am not wealthy. I have never been wealthy in my life. I don't come from money. And I still give my money away. Yeah, I still give my money away because I have empathy for the people around me. I have empathy for people that have less privilege than me. I can acknowledge that I have privilege and maybe not as much privilege as the next person. But I also find empathy in ways where I can donate. He could donate. So I don't really understand why, again, why you would even bring this up, because nobody was going to be on your side, especially in this time. Out of all the times for him to bring this shit up, after yesterday's stream, I don't want to get into it too much because I already talked about yesterday's stream. So if you want to hear me rant about the state of the world, yesterday's stream is the perfect stream for you to go watch it in the VOD. But the state of the world is not the time right now where I'm trying to hear about rich people problems. It's not the time. It's like really not the time. It's not the time for UFOs, and it's not the time for this, for James Charles.
People lose their jobs every fucking day, and you're white, pretty, and able-bodied. You're in a much better position than a lot of other people out here who are trying clearly much harder to make a better life for themselves. Why would I fucking help you? Aside from that, 17,000 people lost their jobs at Spirit Airlines. Why do you think you need the GoFundMe? I can at least, like, 1% respect the mentality of closed mouths don't get fed, doesn't hurt to try. But honestly, it does hurt to try because now you pissed me off, okay? I'm not the one. Go find fucking Mr. Reese. This is literally his entire shtick. I'm sure the next YouTube video is literally gonna be like, I rehired all 17,000 of the Spirit Airlines employees, and it's gonna be the real-life Hunger Games. The last one of them to leave the Spirit Airlines plane gets to be the CEO of the new company and gets a house and a car and $10 million that everybody else dies. Like, go find that video to compete in, baby. I'm not helping you. I'm not fucking helping you. All you did was lost your job, okay? Welcome to the real world. I can at least understand if you were like, James, I'm a longtime fan. Here.
I'm gonna let him finish, but I think it's also crazy. Again, it shows what dissonance rich people have when it comes to money, when it comes to actual real world experiences. Because for him to say, all you did was lose your job, as if having a job isn't literally life changing. All you did was lose your job. Just get another one. Oh, an idea. Literally, like you're saying, you know, it's how boomers talk about just getting a job. Just get another one. Have you tried applying in person? I know it's taken you 8 months to find a job in this economy, but have you really tried? Have you actually tried? Like, that's the vibe. That's the vibe. He wants sycophants. That's what he wants. He wants sycophants that are going to worship the ground that he walks on, that are going to DM him religiously, that are going to say, you know, James, I support you through everything. I support you through all of that. Every contribution you've ever had, like, I still love you, I still care about you, and also, please, can you donate? But that's not even what he wants, because listen to this next part. You have to listen to this next part.
Here's a trillion years of DMs and my support for you. I love you. I'm suffering with a really rare genetic disease that there is no cure for, and I'm trying to raise money for myself and other people that have this. Maybe I would help. Maybe I would help because I love you and I appreciate you. This bitch, you lost your fucking job? Oh. What are we gonna do? Nothing!
Can I just say, this next part, that part right there, I was in shock. That part right there, in shock. He said, to recap, he said, you know, maybe if you had DM'd me and there was a list of DMs that you had it in there, and maybe if you had a life-altering illness, life-altering, deadly disease, and you're trying to raise money for it, maybe I would support you. Even then, even if this woman that had reached out to him was an absolute sycophant, you know, an absolute loyal barnacle on James Charles Teats, still a maybe. And he posted this. It's still a maybe. Even if she was dying. He said that. He literally just said that. It's like, even if this woman was dying and was like, please, can you donate to this? He said maybe. Maybe I would. Maybe I would donate. Insanity. Rich people, bring the guillotine. Bring the guillotine. We need it. We need it. Why is the guillotine out of fashion? I'm actually so upset. Why is the guillotine out of fashion? Let's bring it back. Because what is he talking about? What is he on about? What is he actually really talking about? He really said, if you have cancer, maybe. maybe I would maybe I would give you some money. But you don't. And you didn't. And you're not a sycophant. So no money for you. No money for you.
I'm gonna do nothing. You know what you need to do? Go find a fucking new one, girl. Put some effort into the workplace.
Put some effort into the workplace. Put some effort into the workplace. Mind you, James Charles has never had a real fucking job in his entire fucking life. He has never had a real fucking job in his entire fucking life. Despite what he ever tells you, you need to know he's never had a fucking job in his entire life. Once again, because he got extremely famous right after he graduated from high school. Right after he graduated from high school. Literally. Put some more effort into the workplace. James, you can't even put effort into the makeup looks that you do. Have you seen? It's always surprised me that James Charles, again, it's misogyny, truthfully and honestly, because there are a lot of like POC black women content creators that are in the makeup sphere that have seen a fraction of James Charles's success, that do amazing looks, that do such detailed, amazing makeup looks, affordable makeup hauls, what have you. And I've seen a fraction of his success. Mind you, I need to just I'm not even gonna pull it up for you, but you have to Google like James Charles makeup looks. They're so bad. They're so bad. Like a white man will get away with literally anything. You could shoot a person in the face and it would get away with it. Get away with it, literally. Crazy. Anyway, so he apologized for this. He apologized for this. And I need to show you this apology. Because it's not good. It's 3 minutes. We'll try to get through it, but I'm so sorry, but I gotta show you this video because it is a part of the story. So I gotta do my due diligence. Because they were eating him up. This didn't go over well at all like he thought it would. Which is weird to me, because again, I mean, when I say weird, I don't mean weird like, oh my god, how did he not think this? I'm just like, this passed the PR team? I'm like, you guys need a PR team. I just said that, but like, you need a PR team. You need people that watch over your videos before you put it out, because like, any PR manager would have been like, don't fucking post that. Literally, don't fucking post that. Why would you post that? You're literally setting yourself up for fucking failure. Why would you fucking post that? So in like this literally happened over the course of like 2 days, so like he immediately apologized for this and he made this video. Oh, gotta turn on the...
Lost her job at Spirit Airlines. Yesterday morning, I posted a video on this account talking about how a woman had lost her job at Spirit Airlines, and she sent me a message with a GoFundMe link asking me to donate. And the video is basically me yelling at the camera, being super upset and frustrated because this person had never followed me, never supported me before, and it was clear that she had basically copied and pasted this DM to every influencer and celebrity she possibly could, asking for a handout.
Let me start by saying he needs a t-shirt. Let me start off by saying I don't want to see your ugly ass freckled fucking skin in this fucking apology. I don't want to see this shit. Get out of the bed. Get out of the fucking bed. Why are you apologizing like we are on FaceTime? I am not your friend. Put on a t-shirt. You need one. You really do. You need a t-shirt and a facelift, probably. Anyway. And I called her lazy. I said she was stupid. And I said she should have spent the time that she spent copying and pasting the message, applying for jobs instead. This video was fucking stupid.
It was rude, it was obnoxious, it was privileged, and most importantly, it was completely fucking unnecessary. When I saw that DM, I absolutely had the choice to ignore it and say absolutely nothing at all and move on with my day. But instead, I couldn't even tell you why. Her message just triggered me, and I decided instead to make a video about it. And I bashed her, and it was obnoxious, and I shamed her for asking for help in a situation where she was clearly really struggling, and this could have been her absolute last resort. I have no idea what was going on in her life, and I should have never assumed that she was just copying and pasting this DM as an easy way out. I don't know. I just don't know. My intention behind making this video in the first place was I get a lot of messages like this every single day. And for me personally, it definitely sucks to receive messages from people that don't follow you and don't support you.
I'm sure it was really hard for James Charles to receive that message because I'm sure he was hoping it was another 15-year-old boy that he could groom. Because I assure you, if that was a 15-year-old boy asking for the same thing, James Charles would have answered that DM with the quickness and been on that GoFundMe. I assure you, her only fault was being a woman. I tell you, if she was a 16-year-old boy, he would have been on that ass. He would have been there. Her only fault was being a woman. That's really the issue here. He's mad as fuck that there are no 15-year-olds in his DMs asking him for something. That's what he's really upset about. That's truthfully what he's really upset about. It's not about the fact that like people message him every day asking him for something, because literally as an influencer, you know, again, I have to say this every single time, I'm not a popular streamer, I am not a famous streamer in any way, shape, or form. People have asked me for things all the time. You can just say no, or you can, again, as I have done in the past, not answer the fucking message. It is that fucking simple. As an influencer, as a content creator, sometimes you just get messages that are annoying and you just ignore them. That's the price. It's the price of content creation. You know, it sucks, I guess, but it's better than working a fucking 9 to 5. At the end of the day, you have to look at the objective view of the life that you were given, of the opportunity that you were given, of the chance that you were given, of the freedom that you were given in order to do this fucking career, in order to have this many people fucking support you, in order for you to become a fucking multimillionaire, and say, yeah, I will take a few DMs that I get, a ton of DMs, even if it was 100 DMs every single day, blowing up your fucking inbox, asking you to go fund me. People have made you a multimillionaire, so you have got to get off your phone and go be in your bathtub. Like, give it up, because nothing you say is gonna make this better, in my personal opinion. Nothing you say is going to be a good enough reason for the crash out that he had, just because you have the life that you do. Ultimately, that is what it is.
Treating you like our personal ATM or bank account, but what I'm sure sucks even fucking more is not knowing where your next paycheck is coming from and not being sure whether or not you're going to be able to put food on the table for yourself and your family. So it really doesn't matter what my intentions were behind making the video, because it came across as super fucking privileged and like I was basically shaming anybody that's unemployed for not trying hard enough to get a job.
I will also say, once again, he needs a t-shirt. He needs a real t-shirt. I don't like that we are having a FaceTime right now. He needs to get the fuck out of bed. Because, like, I don't like this view. It makes me feel like I'm on Snapchat with him, and that's one of the places I don't want to be with James Charles. I will also say that I know I was joking earlier, but, like, James Charles, during the controversy in regards to the allegations of him grooming 16-year-olds, also came out and said at a later point that, like, these boys, they wanted things from him, and they took advantage of him. James Charles later, this is down the line, but like later, he was like, yes, there's so many people that have come out and taken things from me, used me for my wealth, and have not loved me for who I am, including the boys that he had groomed. So it just makes me think, like, when James Charles says that, like, there's so many people that ask me for things, I'm like, interesting. I'm like, interesting, not interesting, haha. Interesting, weird. Interesting. I'm connecting dots. I'm connecting patterns. I am.
And I feel awful because that wasn't my intention, and it really hurt a lot of people. And I know that it's not that easy. I know that the job market fucking sucks right now. I have friends that are looking for jobs. I have my own employees that I try my best to take care of. And I've heard so many fucking horror stories online of companies ghosting people, recruiters wasting everybody's time, people applying for job after job and not hearing back for 6 months, a year, 2 years. I know that it's really fucking hard out there. And
I will also just say, again, strange that he put that in the video because literally one of his employees that quit came out about the fact that he's a horrible employee because she was literally getting ran through the fucking gutter with this guy. Like, he was harassing her, he was making her do inappropriate things at the workplace. Not things that were sexual, just very inappropriate things. He was a horrible boss. You can go look up that because I didn't really go into depth with that before. But like, it's strange that he's like, I have my employees that I take care of. Factually, that's incorrect. Factually, that's actually wrong. Because one of your employees has come out the woodwork to say, no, that's not true. You're a horrible fucking person.
And that most people are just doing their best and trying their best to figure it out and to make it by. And if this person happened to choose sending out GoFundMe links as their method of trying to make it by, who am I to judge? Especially when you consider the fact that my method of figuring it out and getting by was making makeup videos online. I just happened to get really lucky, and now, years later, I'm in a blessed and privileged position. But as somebody with a platform, it's my responsibility to humble myself and to never take what I have for granted. And when I made that video today, that is exactly what I did. I was speaking from a very privileged, obnoxious, ignorant standpoint, and for anybody that saw that video and was disappointed or upset with what I said, I am super sorry, especially to the woman from Spirit Airlines. I did try to look for her message earlier before making this video, and I couldn't find it. If you see this video and you want to get in touch, I would love to apologize to you directly and to help you out a little bit. But if you are not comfortable with that, I totally understand too. I really appreciate anybody that sent me a message or left a comment about this video today, letting me know how insensitive it was. I really needed to hear that, and I really need to think twice before I hit record and just start yapping on this account. I genuinely treat this spam page like I'm on FaceTime with you guys. I love to laugh and tell you stories and rant and scream at the camera and joke around with y'all, but sometimes I genuinely forget how many people are watching, and it was completely inappropriate to make a joke out of somebody just trying to provide for themselves and their family. That's definitely my bad.
Okay. So that was the apology. I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care. We don't care! I'm here to tell you right now, I don't give a fuck about that apology. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. That shit was PR'd out the fucking woodwork. I know what he really feel like, because he posted that. He posted that. I know he really feel like. I know who he really is in his core. So that was the apology. And what's happening right now on Twitter is that on Twitter and just online in general, right? Because I don't want to. There's happening on different platforms as well. People are just kind of talking about James Charles as an individual, and it's actually very shocking to me that a lot of people are like, James Charles is now a bad person. Like, I've been here for like the last hour explaining James Charles's history. He admitted to grooming, interacting sexually with minors. What part of that? This happened again back in 2021. Early 2021 too. It wasn't like the back half of the year. This was at the start of the year of 2021. Have full year to process that. 2021, this happened. And has been happening since. So what part of that made you think that like James Charles was like a good person? You thought it was a lapse in judgment? I have made a severe lapse in my judgment. Logan Paul had ass. I mean, what are we fucking talking about? What are we fucking talking about? I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Don't care. That could have been an email. That apology should have been an email. That apology should have been an email. That apology, it's missing like a black square and some white text. Like that apology. Because let me tell you, that didn't seem serious to me. That apology didn't seem not a lick of serious. It didn't have a lick of seriousness in it. And you know why I don't think it was serious? Because why can I see your nipple? Let me ask you something. Why are we face to face and your nipple down there staring at me too? Like, you're not serious. Have you ever given an apology shirtless in bed? I've never done that. I've never given a serious apology shirtless and in bed. And you know, I love being shirtless. I love being in bed. I love two of those things. I love both of them together. But I've never given a serious apology that way. So I know he's not serious. Any apology done from your bed is just unserious. It is. It really is. Lying down on your bed, you don't give a fuck. You don't care. You don't care. Not one bit. Not one bit. And my last thing about this is just that if it took you this to think that James Charles is weird, James Charles is not a good person. James Charles is a predator, as I said previously. I don't really know what to tell you. Like, I don't really know what to tell you. I think you're weird too for like waiting this long to like lock in on him. Frankly. Frankly, I do think you're weird too. It's different if you didn't know. But if you knew, it's weird that it took you this long.